What's your favorite scary movie?
Do you ever fantasize about
damn enchiladas?
That's much too vulgar display of power, Karen.
Let me ask you one question. Are you having fun?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Because I promise you, you and I are going to have some fun.
Oh, no.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Shut up, you bitch hog.
Game over.
The old IMDb page. There we go.
What, to read out trivia that makes no sense?
No, I just want to know what people are called. Actors' names, disposable characters.
Well, the thing with that is, I again with Fede Alvarez, I loved that I had no idea who anyone was.
No.
In this film, apart from a certain person that doesn't exist, which we'll get to. But yeah, you're. Oh my god, you're just arm back. That says it all.
Yeah,
that says it all. But yes, welcome back to the DC.
Oh,
Phase 5 of the Dreadcast universe. Welcome back to the Dreadcast, folks. My name is Tom. This is Aidan.
Hello.
We are back off our summer holidays, even though we didn't have a summer holiday. It was just unbearably hot and sticky and muggy, and things came up.
Just working, but hotter.
But hotter, yeah. So took a little break. When did we release Longlegs, the last film on this fine show, the Dreadcast Longlegs.
The finest.
The finest.
Show. The best. The rootinest, tootinest, best little horror podcast in town.
Damn tootin'. So, okay, I didn't realise. I thought we had a longer break than apparently we had. Our Longlegs episode, which you can find here, folks, if you're watching the video thing, released on the 28th of July. That was only 2 weeks ago.
Oh god, it feels like a lot longer than that.
I thought we've had like a 3 to 4 week break.
It's not been that long.
Oh, we can pack it up now then and come back next week and do this. I thought we'd been gone for so long. I felt bad for all of our lovely listeners. All of you out there that
starved of our dulcet tones and intelligent, coherent insights into the horror genre.
Mm-hmm. The know-it-alls, you might say.
Yeah.
Ask a question and we'll answer with the exact correct answer. All right, so wow, that was a slow 2 weeks, but nevertheless, we're back. We're back with today's episode, which is another red poster.
Yes,
horror of the year.
We are in the red and black poster season of
we are indeed
of horror movies.
Yeah,
I mean, I like them. I've got to say, I do quite like the red and black aesthetic.
They've got a good track record so far.
Mm-hmm.
Barbarian, When Evil Lurks, Longlegs, and possibly Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
But before we get... Hey. What was that?
Nothing.
What was that little...
There was nothing.
There was something. Nothing. There was something there. And by the sounds of it, discussions
we'll get into it.
Debates will be had. Yeah, okay. But before we get into that, before we get into Alien Romulus, I would say if you want to just listen to us discuss Alien Romulus, go to the timestamp I'm about to put on the video now. Boop, boop, right there, somewhere on the screen, or it'll be in the timestamps because we've got some business to take care of first, and it might take time.
Business,
and just in case you don't want to, you get bored of the waffle to begin with, and then you don't end up listening to the Alien Romulus review, just go straight there. Just go straight there.
Yeah. And
it will be spoiler riddled.
Oh, yeah, I think that goes without saying. We're gonna be spoiling.
That's the thing. A lot of like online reviews, they'll say spoilers here. why would you go to watch a review of a film you've not seen and not expect spoilers?
And not expect spoilers, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
absolutely baffling.
It's going to be a short one, isn't it? It's going to be like, this is good, or this is bad, if you want no spoilers, you know.
Yeah. So, we'll get the narcissistic stuff out the way because it was my birthday the other day, so I'm going to make it all about me. So,
of course, yeah.
Bollocks to the rest of you. Well, it's what we do on the internet now, right, Elon? We're just narcissistic pricks the whole time.
Absolutely.
That's the pattern.
Yeah, well, happy birthday for Wednesday. Then.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. You're about 30 seconds too late there, but thank you. I'll take it. Now, also,
I was waiting for you to stop talking about yourself.
That's what I'm doing. I am gonna, for the video viewers, and I'll give a brief description of some of the swag I got.
Yeah, I think you should.
Still waiting on one from one lovely co-host, but it will in time.
It's coming.
It will arrive in time, and one can only hope it's the Valentine OST. Have you just posted me that back?
No.
It's what Aidan received for his birthday, the OST to the hit seminal film Valentine.
Yeah, I listen to it on the regular while wearing the t-shirt.
It's a good album. It may as well just be a compilation, like a new metal compilation album, but it doesn't need to have the Valentine association with it.
No.
You know? But anyway, it had a good birthday. I took the day off, just did absolutely nothing. Sat in front of the TV, played Final Fantasy, and cake for breakfast. Costco cake.
That is good.
So, yeah. So, most of the haulage, no, in fact, all of the haulage is horror related, so. That is also pretty good. Bang. So we got some Blu-rays, we got some 4Ks, we got figure, and we got something else quite special. But Blu-rays, we got Cobweb and Thanksgiving on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, the Thanksgiving 4K doesn't come out till October, which is quite frustrating. So the Blu-ray is still good, but
also October isn't Thanksgiving in November. Surely they would have.
I didn't want to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, they missed the quite obvious trick there.
Yeah. But Cobweb was one of both of our top films.
Yeah, I was a bit of a sleeper. I wasn't expecting that to be as good as it ended up being. I enjoyed it a lot.
Real big sleeper, and just a really nice one for the collection. So, a couple of nice Blu-rays. We got the lovely Steelbook edition. Hang on. Oh, what is this? Oh no. What's happening here? I'm gonna open it. This is highly embarrassing.
What have you brought?
Just simply the original Friday the 13th Steelbook.
Oh, that's very nice.
With it's mirrored. It's mirrored on the camera. Kill her, mummy. Kill her.
Very nice.
But it's just a lovely little Steelbook and 4K with special features. Special features, folks. That's the one thing that will always trump streaming because you don't get any behind the scenes on streaming services.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of physical editions.
I mean, it is the beauty of physical releases, but the thing is now as well is you tend to have to wait for a special reissue, a special release. They don't tend to come as standard anymore, which is a bit of a shame, or not to the extent that I feel like they used to. Back when DVDs were new, like pretty much everything when it came out because I mean we started VHS when DVDs were coming out, so films would get released on both formats.
Yeah.
And it was always good to get the DVD because you were guaranteed to have usually another whole of the disc with the extras and stuff on. And then as time's gone on, and I think now the standard is just the movie, maybe a couple of deleted scenes, but like everything when they were new was, the menus were always really elaborate menus and things like that. And
yeah, I mean, bog standard special features would be the trailer, a foreign trailer, deleted scenes, and bloopers. Maybe if you're lucky, a featurette.
Yeah, there'd be a featurette, a TV thing, or something.
Like the marketing interviews they normally do, like the press junkets they do.
A bit of press,
but that's about it. Whereas if you're lucky and you wait for, I mean, this Friday the 13th. Commentary by Sean Cunningham, director, and the cast and crew. Friday the 13th reunion. A short documentary on the story. Man Behind the Legacy on the documentary on the director. And more. Just It's great. Just great behind the scenes, which
it is good. I mean, I do like a cast and direct commentary as well.
Yeah, the best one will always be Arnold Schwarzenegger on Total Recall.
I will champion incredible. Arnold Schwarzenegger on Conan the Barbarian as well.
I think you may have even sent me a clip of that a long time ago. But
we have talked about it before.
Yeah, we have. We have. Yeah,
we definitely talked about it. I think any Arnie one, because they've generally been done a long time after he made the film. So
it's just fantastic.
Quite a lot of the time, he's no idea what's going on, and it's like watching it with him for the first
time. We have the Arrow Films distributed Psycho 4K
nice.
collection.
Mm-hmm.
How many films are in there?
Is that 3?
Mm-hmm. How many in total are there?
How many cycles are there total, including the remakes? Is there 4?
Just originals.
Is there 4?
There's 4. This only includes 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
So we don't have the original in there.
No, we do not have the original.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Arguably the best one.
Yes.
This
is my criticism. Because my criticism is more on Arrow Films and as to why is it not a box set 4. But hey ho, it's still a lovely 4K collection. I will be here forever if I have to read all the special features on every disc. Look at the state of that. Psycho 2, I will always put up there. Is an incredible sequel.
I like
hidden
2.
gem.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen 4, and I have seen 3, but I can't remember anything about it.
Exactly the same. Never saw 4. 3 is okay, but 2 is superb.
2 is very good.
2 comes in the same category of like a hidden sequel gem to a absolute classic, like Psycho being the absolute classic, as Exorcist 3 is to Exorcist 1. It's quite under the radar, in my opinion. You say to people, "Oh, the Exorcist sequels." Oh, really? Oh, it must be. No. Exorcist 3 is incredible. There's a reason why I haven't mentioned Exorcist 2. That is not incredible. You go straight from 1 to 3. But yeah, 2's superb. 2 was great, and that's a really nice. I still think I prefer Second Sight Films boxes because they're harder and embossed. This is a simple cardboard sleeve. You know. Can get damaged easy, but Arrow is still good. So that's it for the movies. What's your favorite Final Destination? What is your favorite Friday the 13th film again?
6.
Was it
part 6?
6. Thought it was, and I'm 4. We have the NECA Friday the 13th final chapter, part 4. Jason.
Lovely.
In all his glory, we've got the ring light shining on it, so it's quite hard to see. But we've got all the fun stuff. We've got the Pamela Voorhees gravestone. We've got his machete. You can see his little slit in his mask at the top there, but it's a lovely figure.
Alternate head.
Really cool figure.
Yeah, no, that's good. I do like those NECA figures. A friend of mine runs a collectible shop, and he's just got a bunch of. Stuff comes in. He posts stuff on Facebook as he gets it in. And generally, like, people are straight on it in the comments, reserve it for me, whatever. So I imagine most of it's gone. But he posted the other day, got a bunch of both genuine and knockoff NECA figures in. So all horror stuff. He said a couple of them were fakes, but I mean, I don't know what he's looking for because they look. If you're just going to buy them for a collection and sitting on a shelf, they look spot on to the originals. So he had a Chucky from the TV series figure, which I didn't know they produced, so that's pretty cool. And then a bunch of the Friday ones. They weren't in box, unfortunately, but they were all genuine, by the way.
Bunch of the Friday ones.
The Friday the 13th ones. The ones we're talking about.
Sorry, not the Ice Cube.
You're thinking Ice Cube.
Because I would love a NECA figure. Give me a Debo, give me a Big Perm, give me a Smokey.
Absolutely. Friday. I'm Googling it. Friday action figures.
It would be amazing. I mean, Big Perm. I mean, Big Worm.
I mean, all the
They
Friday
can't
the 13th
exist.
ones have popped up.
Of course, we were talking about horror. Why would it be Friday? It was just,
why
it's
would
just
it
because
be?
you just said Friday and not Friday the 13th.
Because I thought, with it being a horror show, and we're literally talking about the Friday the 13th figures.
My mind wandered, sir. My mind wandered.
I mean, if you want to turn it into an Ice Cube Comedies podcast, I'm down. We can talk about Are We There Yet instead.
When are we going to get on with our Nickelodeon TV show?
We do need a
podcast
Nickelodeon
first?
TV show. We do.
That's cool. I mean, knockoffs. I mean, the NECA figures I've got, along with the Trick or Treat Tarman I've got. I keep them in the box. I like to keep them on. But I have other figures I like to keep displayed out of the box. It's just because the boxes are nice.
The boxes are
and
nice.
The boxes act as display cases themselves.
Yeah,
so
they do. I mean, I've got the Part 6 Jason. He's up there on the shelf behind me, and yeah, I'm not going to take it out because I do really like the box.
The final thing, which was a really cool gift, was some original Fangoria magazines. Yeah. One we have here is from. What's the date on this?
Oh, you got more than one because you showed me. You showed me the
did.
one of them. Oh, lovely.
Let's see the date on this one. Oh, here we go. 1987. 1987 nice. For this one. It is a Jason Behind the Mask. This one really looks like a Take a Break magazine. Jason, the Behind the Story Mask. Dun, 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 dun. Free Lost Boys poster. Should we have a look at that? Let's fold that out.
Nice.
Look at that.
Oh, very
look at the
sexy.
ad. Can you see that advert? Look at that.
Yeah. That is a good t-shirt.
Screamy t-shirts. You could win one. What have we got in this issue? We've got It Came From Harry Essex, one of Universal's top genre script that recalls the making of Creature from the Black Lagoon and other 50s favourites. We've got Voorhees actors sound off and are playing the world's most popular stalker. We've also got Meet Pumpkinhead. We've got an article on the Ghoulies. Lots going on in this one, but they're great.
Oh, I like the Ghoulies movies. Have you seen Ghoulies? It's bonkers.
I have it on VHS. I've never seen them though. But
it's worth a watch. It's mental.
I mean, some of these posters inside, like this Creepshow 2. It's
nice.
Really nice. Yeah.
That is very nice.
So I'm gonna have a good read of these at some point because I think they'll be fascinating. I also think they'll be very heavily dated in some of the ways they're written. But
probably
it is what it is. It's
going to be one of those that you're going to go through and all those ads for products and t-shirts and things. You're going to be like, oh, that'd be sick. But then obviously the PO box that you send in your postal order off to is just going to be completely defunct. You won't be able to get it anymore.
The building doesn't exist anymore.
No.
90. I think this one was 93, which makes sense because of what's on the cover. But also, if you thought that magazine was busy, look how busy this one is.
Oh, okay. So we got Jurassic Park. Is that John Carpenter there?
Yeah, Body Bags. That was his take on Creepshow / Tales from the Crypt.
More Tales from the Crypt. More Jason Goes to Hell.
Speaking of Jason Goes to Hell, let's just open the...
Yes. Evil has finally found a home.
What else have we got on here? We got Hocus Pocus, Wacky Witches and Hocus Pocus, Needful Things, Max von Sydow, The Interview, Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, big take on Jurassic Park in this.
I mean, it was huge, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
Absolutely massive. Like,
speaking of adverts, we get our 1 to 6 scale Jason Goes to Hell figure. Yeah, so that's that one. There's a lot more good in there. I just want to show you the back as well. The back advert, amazing. This is
what is call today to win an authentic 8-foot predator.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they mean by authentic?
When you call, you will be given a hot Halloween tip and asked a Halloween trivia question. Mm-hmm. Participants who answer the question correctly will automatically be entered for the Predator giveaway.
I mean, I absolutely want an authenticate foot predator. Don't get me wrong. But
mate,
what is it? Is it
mate,
like just a cardboard standee or?
The contest ended 1993, October 31st.
Okay, if you won that contest, let us know. Let us know in the comments what what
if you're
form the
listening to
authentic
this
predator took.
podcast and you won that contest, I want to meet you.
Hey, stranger things have happened. This is the internet. Make it happen.
It doesn't say if it's. Oh, okay. No, this is a real. This has to be a full-on either costume or 8-foot figure. The retail value is over $5,000.
Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be like a proper statue.
Yeah. And it's $1.95 per call, not per minute, per call. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. So you've got that one, and we've got the one that I am, as soon as I can, sealing this because this is going to be a gem. This is a original first issue of Fangoria with my boy Godzilla on the front.
Yeah, 25 years of Godzilla at this point. So what year is this? What year is the mag?
Oh god, you put me on the spot now. I should know that. This is 19. Why'd you ask that fucking question?
Because you wanted to show off your little haul, your little swag bag of tricks.
Have the date ready, Aidan.
I mean,
Oh god.
I'll Google it. When did Fangoria first come
This
out?
Fangoria issue is from 1979, August in 1979. In case you weren't aware, heathens that don't know information like that.
Yes, 1979.
Oh, I just said it. I just said you didn't need to check. Like, God. One thing that is quite cool on this, which I've noticed earlier on when I was prepping for today's episode. Do you see the bottom headline?
What photo preview of Alien?
Yeah, quite fitting.
It is quite fitting.
But they're. I mean, this is one of my favourite Godzilla posters. Just how ridiculous it is. Lighting on top of the Twin Towers.
That is good. That is good. I'm on the Fangoria website now actually, and they've got an archive page of all the covers.
Yeah, it's a really cool collectible.
I mean, that is awesome. An issue 1 of anything is always a good fan. If you get issue 3, it's got Christopher Lee in an Arabian adventure on the front.
I mean, there's a big Christopher Lee article in here, as you can see.
Nice.
Big Christopher Lee.
Oh, there you go. He's got that's his costume in the middle. The sort of Jafar from Aladdin's kind of get up.
It feels old and it smells. Oh, it smells like
I bet it does.
It's
God,
beautiful.
I love that old dusty magazine smell.
So for this one specifically, I've ordered a plastic slipcase, not like a comic book one, but like a hard one that can be sealed. Sort of like what graders use to grade things.
Yeah.
Get it on display because I think the other ones can go in like a collection stood up somewhere, but this one specifically is it's superb. Here we go. Yeah, look at this. Alien, a $10 million motion picture directed by Ridley Scott, scripted by Dan O'Bannon, concerns the voyage of the starship Nostromo, and its crew's encounter with galactic horror. And we've got some grainy black and white images here. You can see.
Awesome.
Behind the scenes. I mean, it's not much to it, but back then these were probably incredible to view in the magazine. You know. See, it's a shame. I used to collect Empire and Total Film magazine, and I loved collecting magazines. I mean, back to video games, I used to collect official PlayStation 1 magazine and Nintendo Power. Magazines were incredible, and they're such a dying breed. I think Fangoria now is quarterly, and I think I'm going to subscribe to it.
I do pick up. Is it Dark Side magazine? I think that's what it's called. And occasionally Fangoria, and there's another one as well. The name escapes me. But yeah, it's one of those things Yeah, the Dark Side magazine's pretty good. But you end up with, well, just piles and piles and piles of them, and
that's the thing. That is the other thing. Yeah,
it's unfortunate, especially with the cost of magazines nowadays as well. It's like they're not cheap. You're looking at best part of £10 for some of them, and you kind of think, well, I've spent like enough, like that's as much as a book, and you're definitely going to keep a book on your shelf. But you think the magazine's always feels like a little bit more disposable. But for the cost of them, you don't want to get rid of it. But by the same token, what are you going to do with 300 issues of whatever, like sat in a box, smouldering away?
You're completely right.
It's a shame. I still pick up the odd issue of stuff, and it travels around the house, migrates from the bathroom to the where I do most of my reading.
That's the thing. It used to be a coffee table or a bathroom. You'd have. I mean, I think that's more of a parent's thing. You used to have the little down the side of the toilet, your little magazines might be, or on the coffee table. But once again, this has just trumped it.
Yeah,
it's always on you. It's always on you. Might be at the coffee table, might be in the toilet. We'll watch your TikToks. I mean, you can get like digital subscriptions to a lot of magazines these days. So I suppose you could still have your phone and then, but have your copy of Fangoria or whatever it might be on there. Heat. Is Heat magazine still going? I don't know if Heat magazine's still going. I don't know. I just read it from the IT crowd. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, the Fangoria subscription delivered every 3 months, so quarterly, it's $80 a year. So that's $20 a magazine.
Yeah,
that's pretty high. Whereas an Empire magazine might cost you a $5 a month down your news agents wherever you buy it from. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see what about it, if there's any bonuses or benefits. But I don't know, these originals have kind of spurred me on a bit because they're just really cool collect items to have. But you can buy these on eBay, so it might be quite cool to get a back catalogue. Yeah, of them. So,
I mean, certainly, like say where people collect comics or whatever, key issues, favorite movies. It'd be look out for particular articles and stuff. It'd be cool. But yeah, it's a good haul, man, and an excuse to start spending more money on stuff.
Exactly. Gives me a good reason. I only have one more thing to bring to the table. Before we talk about Aidan.
Go for it.
If you've made it this far,
nothing.
Oh, okay. You've just been work, haven't you? That's it. It's just work.
I've just been at work.
Whatever. Before we carry on, folks, just remember, last episode was Long Legs, the Osgood Perkins thriller / horror of the year. Go check it out here in the video. Point here. Go check it out. Our review on that. And what did we do? What was the last couple of episodes we actually did? It was Long Legs in a Violent Nature, and I believe it was our 2 Films Under episode.
2 Films Under for clowns.
No, it was Polaroid and Countdown.
Oh, it was
a
cursed object,
cursed item object, and from the 2010s. That was it.
From the 2010s. Yes.
No, from the noughts, wasn't it, or 10s? It was the 10s. Sorry, you're right.
I think it was 10s.
So that was the last couple of episodes. Go check them out. You can find them on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, Google. Not Google anymore. It's YouTube. Google Podcast doesn't exist. It's YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in, iHeartRadio, Amazon, everywhere. Just search Dreadcast and you'll find it and go check it out. And after this episode, we will be following with our next 2 Films Under, which is, we've picked the films. We may as well say them.
Yeah. Strays is my pick.
Yeah, and mine was Mosquito.
I think are we both from 91 with us?
Mine's from 94.
94, mine's 91.
Now, the reason behind those picks, once again, it's been a big, long 2-week break. So just to remind you all, we have the Horror Tombola, which is up there. We ruffle through it, pick out one of the piece of criteria. You roll the dice to pick out the decade we have to choose from. For instance, this time we got 1990s. And from the Horror Tombola, we got animals, as in killer animal. Your anaconda, your arachnophobia. We then have to venture out to find something from the bottom of the bargain bin. It can't be anything like anaconda or arachnophobia. It has to be like horrible.
We're looking lower down the scale. Yeah,
we're looking at the lower end of the watchable
wedge.
films.
Thin
We're
end
looking
of the
at
trumpet.
something like where Quigley is. Remember, we talked about Quigley.
Yes.
So, strays and mosquitoes will be put up against each other in the next episode after this, which should be in the coming future.
It's going to be a couple of weeks, I think, isn't it?
Probably a couple of weeks, yeah.
There's a couple of other bits and pieces of life to get by.
Yeah, but that will be our. I think that will be our good way back into plenty more episodes and content for you guys. So, one more thing before Aidan, Romulus, I want to put forward an amazing show that I've been watching lately that I would recommend to you and everyone else out there. A bit behind on the curve because when did it come out? I think it came out 2021 or 2022. 2022. It is called From. The simplest way I'm going to describe this for you right now is if I've got Lost over here and if I've got a sprinkling of The Walking Dead over here.
Okay.
And I merge them together. And it is superb. I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. I am halfway through season 2. Their season 3 starts at the end of September.
Oh, right.
In the sense of Lost, there are so many mysteries occurring right now. They're ongoing throughout the show. But the characters are great. The story is intriguing. Just to give you a quick setup, there is a town that if you arrive at, you basically cannot leave. You're in a loop. You try and drive out, you end up back at the same town.
Okay.
You have to be inside your house or inside a building of some sort at night because evil lurks. I will just say that. Evil lurks at night and you will not survive.
Ooh, okay.
So these people are stuck in this town. There's like
I've not
it is
heard
great.
Of this at all.
So you see what I'm saying by Lost. There are some mysteries occurring. How is that happening? Why are we here? This is crazy. What's going on? And the first few episodes of Lost, if you watched it, you got the polar bear, the smog monster. I was
very into Lost for the first couple of series. Yeah,
same. I mean, the season finale of season 1 of Lost, where they find the hatch, it blew my mind. I wanted more there and then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's also the main. The starring lead of From is from Lost.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't recommend it anymore. It is hard to find. I think in the UK it will be on Sky One or Sky, whatever it's called now, Sky Original, Sky Showcase, when the new season comes out. It's not on Amazon Prime. It's not on Netflix. It's on MGM Plus, which I don't think we get over here. So
do we not get that as an Amazon channel? I've got a feeling it might be accessible through Amazon.
It may be, but I found it through other means.
I think I've had it previously.
I've had Paramount.
I'm just having a look now. MGM Plus is available through Amazon Prime. And like most of those extra channels, you get a 7-day free trial if you've not already subbed to it. I might have a look because I've not had it before, so I might have a look to see what else is on there and make
honestly, I think you should. I think you should give it a go. But I give the first 2 episodes a go. I mean, a lot of people like to just give half an hour of a series a go, and then they'll decide. No, give it more than one. You've got to.
A couple of episodes are fine. My biggest bugbear with stuff like this is when people say it gets really good in season 4. I'm like, get in the sea with that.
Why?
That's not a good show. That's something that you've persevered with and given up.
Something like that, I would say, is my favourite show ever is 24. My favourite series of 24 is season 5. I'm not going to go, hey, season 5. That's where
that's where it gets good.
Just get through. Wait, what's 4 times 24? 40. Just get through 108 episodes, and you're there. No. But yeah, From. Highly recommend it to everyone out there. I think I mentioned a while back I started Yellow Jackets. This is my TV show. I'm looking forward to season 3. Yellow Jackets is good, but this is my new when he could show. I've been after a show, a current ongoing show for a long time. It's really hooked me, and this is what's done it. So yeah,
nice.
I hope you check it out, and we can discuss it further. That, I think, as I look round my Fortress of Solitude here, I think that's all that's happened in about the last 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
Which has seemingly felt like a year. So I think it's time we get on to. Well, I think it's going to be a very decisive.
I have
topic.
thoughts.
He has thoughts, folks. He has thoughts.
So this is probably the freshest we've ever done a cinema release review as we both saw it today. You went to a 10:30 a.m. showing.
I went to a 10:30 screening this morning, and it was one of the best experiences I've had.
That was going to be my next question, because I know you've had a bit of rough luck with cinema experiences just recently. So yeah, how was it?
So yeah, it was the last few ones were seeing Maxine and Longlegs, and they were both films. Both films were great. In fact, I don't know if we had discussed. I think Maxine came after Longlegs. I don't think we've talked about it obviously on the podcast.
No, we've not talked about it in the past. No.
May save that for our end of year when we wrap up the film. But Maxine, I thoroughly loved Maxine. So just going to simply put it out there. Brilliant. The whole trilogy, X, Pearl, Maxine. Just love it all. 10:30 this morning. I saw the screening time Thursday, I think, or Wednesday, when you told me you were gonna eventually see it, and I was like, right, what can I? Saturday morning, that'll be good. Okay, it's empty now. I'm not gonna book it just yet. I'm gonna hold on till last night and this morning, and between last night and this morning, there was no change from 3 people being in there. Fine. 2 of the back row to my left and 1 in the corner to my right. When we got there today, in total there were 7 people.
Yeah.
Including us. And it was fine. Absolutely fine. There was some rustling, but whatever, you get it. It's the phone and the talking that does it for me. One guy down to my right, I did see he had his... So I don't know if you have that at the view here. We've got the tables that slide around. They're like...
Oh, I mean, we're not in our local...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen the sort of thing.
So he had his phone out, sat like that with screen up. Just out. So you could see when you got a message, so the phone lit up, picked it up, put it down. That happened about 4 times throughout the whole film. Annoying, but whatever. He wasn't on it constantly. That's a bit different. So no, screening was great, and this is the way. So it's really sad that to be able to have a good cinema experience, I either have to go as late night as possible after the film's been released, like a week later, maybe after the film's released, or as early as possible on a weekend, or probably the weekend, because I'm not going to get a weekday off. If I had a weekday off, I'd be no problem whatsoever. But that's sad. That's where we're at.
So we opted for the 2:20 showing, 2:20 p.m. It was busier than your showing, but not super busy. I'd say maybe 15 people total. Okay. There were a couple of talky jaws in the back, but nothing massively disturbing. They were at least commenting on the film. There was a few comments and like sort of it was a couple of blokes and like 4 gasps of astonishment and what have you, and a little cheer at one point when a particular line was used.
We'll get to that line. One of my negatives.
But not, whatever. It was fine. We had the added, I guess, distraction that it was the first football game of the season today, and it was a home match. So anybody will, the town basically comes to a standstill on any given football day. So
yeah. Okay, I get you.
Yeah. So yeah, nice quiet cinema experience. Just out of interest.
Yep.
Going the time you did, I'm assuming that was like the first showing of the day. Was there a discounted ticket for that?
No.
So our cinema runs something called Movie Madness, and the movie madness is the early slot. So when I was discussing it with our Vic about what time we were going, and she was like, "Oh, 10:30." I think she said, I said there's a 10:30 showing, and she was like, "Oh, that might be good." And I was like, "No, that's insane. I'm not getting up on a weekend and going straight to the cinema. That's like I can still taste toothpaste at 10:30."
I'll be honest, it was pretty intense.
It just felt like a weird thing to do. I'm not against it, like whatever's convenient for you. But I was like, "Oh, it's movie madness," and she was like, "Oh, we'll find out what that is." And I clicked on it, and I couldn't see. There was nothing saying why it was movie madness. And I was like, "Well, the madness part is because it's 10:30 in the morning. Surely that's what it is." When we actually got to the cinema, I found out that the movie madness slot ticket prices, it's like $4.99.
Wow,
which is really good. I mean, we only paid like I think $8.99, so it's not breaking the bank and whatever standard kind of price. Not a problem. But I was like, oh wow, okay, it's less than. So the madness part is that it's quite a decent discount ticket price, but it didn't actually say anything on the website that I could see. That was on a poster when we're in there, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe in future, cheap seats.
I was just looking at my cinema as well, checking tomorrow morning, just seeing if anything like that. And no, it's still from $8.99, and a lot of people still complain about cinema prices these days, but I think that is fair.
I think it's fine. The ticket. I mean, it's not. I think it's not the ticket price, is it? I think it's always been the.
Oh, it's always the concessions.
Prices.
Always the concessions.
Yeah. But even that, I don't think too bad, really.
Oh, I went in with a Costa coffee and a pan au chocolat. I was having a very civilized morning in the
very fancy.
Theater.
Breakfast. The breakfast showing of.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want a Coke the size of a young child and a bag of like Skittles in the morning
at 10:30 in the morning. Yeah. No, that's fair. That is fair. If they start doing like egg butties, bacon butties,
that'd be amazing. I mean, it'd smell, but yeah, it would be great.
It would.
So yeah, good showing all around. And you had a good showing.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah. And not being in that screen because our cinema is a real, as I've said previously, and it's fairly newly built. I think it's only been open 6 months or so.
Okay.
So I'd not been in that particular screen either. So it was one of the bigger screens in there. So it was nice to check that out. Lots of leg room, which is really good for me. I was kind of slumped down comfy in the chair and managed to stretch my legs out and still not. I had to like really overstretch to touch the seat in front. So, and I'm 6'2", so that's pretty good going.
Yeah, the good man spread, did you? Good man spread going on there, yeah. So the experience was good. Yeah. The experience was good. But
however,
there's a huge but coming here, and it's neither of us.
Now, I really wanted to like this. It's Fede Alvarez, and the trailers that I saw, I was hyped for it. I thought, not overhyped, but I think I had a quiet reservation that this is going to be good. I'm expecting good things, and I think, but there's possibly that I was expecting a little bit more than what I got. So I'm willing to sort of say there's an element of that I maybe wanted it to be better. Or I was expecting more from the Evil Dead remake.
Were you not a fan of that?
No, I was. That's what I'm saying. It's
sorry. I completely missed what you said. Yeah,
coming from him.
Yeah,
I wanted the same mood, the same tone as Evil Dead, but Alien, and I don't think I got that.
But they're very different moods and tone. I think that sort of mood and tone fits the Evil Dead, let's say, mythos and world and structure.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you there, but I don't think I was getting the tension I expected from an Alien film. I thought the guy that produced a gritty, disgusting, horrible Evil Dead movie would have done a better job giving me a gritty, disgusting Alien movie. and I don't think it quite delivered what I was expecting.
Okay.
And I saw somebody, I don't know who it was. It just sort of randomly popped up on my timeline earlier on one of the social media platforms. But they basically said it started. Their review of Romulus was a 10 out of 10 for at the start, and by the end it was 0.5. And that
is interesting.
Kind of agree with that.
Sorry, by the end it was a what? Out 0.5?
No, it was like 0.5.
0. Oh, God,
like
that's
0.5.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But what I will say, in contrast to that, is I found there was a short review by a journalist from a San Francisco magazine criticizing the film by saying the first 45 minutes are boring beyond description. Now, that is subjective by you saying it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you found it boring. Fine. No, doesn't mean the film is boring.
Yeah.
The script has the aliens waking up and falling asleep at the convenience of the screenwriters, not in a way that makes consistent sense. I don't know about that. The foundational mistake came when someone said, "Hey, let's make another Alien movie." Newsflash: the alien concept is dead. Leave it alone and leave poor Ian Holm out of it. The last part of that sentence we'll get to in a minute. But the alien concept is not dead. It was killed by going in a direction that didn't work for it. Alien 1, that I'm calling it Alien 1, even though it's Alien 1 is a perfect movie. And the concept is like, if it falls in the category of, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Sorry, man. I'm just going to have to stop.
Oh, we'll be back, folks. And the elevator music has finished playing. We're back. As I was saying, the first Alien movie is a perfect film.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone should be able to agree on that. It's a perfect movie, and it falls in the category of, I believe, of if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the alien concept has been tried to be fixed in other people's perception of what it should be and what they feel like it should be, and it kind of spiraled out of control. Let's say.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Especially with a film like Alien vs. Predator 2, which is unwatchable. It's absolutely unwatchable. You can't, and I don't mean in the fact it's a bad film. I mean you can't watch that film. You can't see it. It's too dark.
I can't see it. No, it's far too dark. Far too dark.
So the concept is not dead. It's just the way it's executed.
No, not at all. Not at all. But for me, overall, this falls into the thing. And again, another friend of mine saw it a couple of days, or yesterday, or whenever. His sort of like succinct review of it was that it felt a lot like the new Star Wars films, where it's basically just giving us a rehash of what we've already seen for a new audience. And that was my criticism of a Matrix Revelations, was it called, where it was basically giving me what we already had as a Matrix film, just doing it again for a new audience. And my argument there is, why do the same thing for a new audience? Do something new, and then the new audience can go back to what we've got. And to sort of, in a nutshell, or put buzzwords or whatever, it's fancy. It's too fan servicey. Now, I don't have a problem with fan service because I'm a fan. So give me those cheeky little references and give me the little nods, and it's great. But don't give me the same shit I've already seen again. And there's always going to be sort of slightly similar things, because you're trying to make a horror movie about an alien that operates in a particular way and in the confines of a spaceship corridors or whatever. There's gonna be similar scenes playing out. There are, but don't give me exactly the same thing that I've seen. And the finale of this movie I've already seen in Alien Resurrection.
Yes. You've also seen it in Aliens.
I've also seen it in Aliens. I mean, the main character, Rain, is a poor cosplay Ellen Ripley running around.
I liked her.
I didn't dislike
acting
her.
Acting wise and character.
Oh yeah, performance. Nothing wrong with
she was
great.
Yeah,
nothing wrong.
And that goes for the cast, in my opinion. I thought they were all cast very well.
They were all very young. I felt very old. I was like, why have all these children got a spaceship? Like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like the Muppet Babies version. I don't know. But that might just be my age creeping up on me. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with the thing with the performances. But yeah, it was just I've seen it. I've seen this.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I fully get that.
And then there were other things that I think were a bigger issue. I wasn't that hot on the effects.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the practical effects that I'm thinking the face huggers in particular look like there's one scene. So there's quite a big segment plays out with the face huggers.
You mean
the 3D printed face huggers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one of them where you just sort of see in the background one sort of scuttles past. Now, the speed it's moving does not tie into the leg movements. And it looks like something from Red Dwarf. It looks really, really bad. Like, and there was a few where they were trying to sort of give those facehuggers movements, and they just looked like Disneyland animatronics, like the Small World ride or B&M Halloween garden ornaments. It was all a little bit crap.
A buddy of mine, well, I say buddy, guy I went to university with, works for Weta Workshop in New Zealand now, and worked on those. Those animatronic facehuggers. And no, I'm not saying this to like say you're wrong. I'm just saying I only know that because the last couple of days, obviously NDAs have passed, and his social media is all like, we joined the crew that we did this, we made this and made this. I know exactly what you're saying. I more so fall into the camp of I just appreciate it's practical.
I do appreciate it's practical because by comparison, the CG stuff stuck out like a sore thumb as well. It didn't.
Zen engineer, or whatever you want to call it. The last, the finale. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and the facehugger chase sequences.
Where they're darting all about the place. Yeah.
Like, so, it feels like a bit shitty of me to sort of sit there going, well, the CGI was crap, but I didn't like it. Well, I definitely appreciate that there were practical effects, but those facehuggers looked a little bit janky, is what I'm saying. Okay. Quite a lot of the other stuff, happy with. Didn't have an issue with the chest burster scenes or the close-ups of the xenomorphs, and all of that sort of stuff's great. The general look of it, the starship, the spaceship corridors. I really like the starship. I know. I really liked the beginning. I really liked how we saw it felt really good to see the kind of normal people and how we got a little insight into Weyland-Yutani being this like shitty mega corporation that where the people company are basically indentured servants. It's practically slavery, and that's sort of the driving force of the plot is that they see a quick way to get out of this crap situation. And I've always liked that for the Alien films, so we get to see like what it's like living on a world that's being terraformed or mined or whatever. It's kind of sleazy, kind of gross. I mean, that sort of street scene is basically just bars and brothels. That seems to be all there is
on the mining planet. Yeah. That's a beautiful. I actually really think that's a beautiful, as grimy and dirty as it is, industrial as it is. It's actually a really beautiful, like long, wide shot of just this mining industrial planet complex. It's like Coruscant from Star Wars if it was just mining and dirt everywhere.
So that felt really good. That all looked really good, and the effects and the big dumper trucks and stuff rolling by, and the no complaints there. But there's just a couple of moments, and it was the face of puppets in particular. I just thought that's just taking me out a little bit because it looked a little janky. But overall the effects were decent.
Come back to the actual film in a sec. What's your history of the whole Alien franchise? Because I never saw Covenant, but I know it's the sequel to Prometheus, and it was meant to be.
Yeah.
There was meant to be a third in, let's say, the Prometheus trilogy, the prequel trilogy to Alien, which I think got just fully put on hold because Covenant did so poorly.
I hope so, because quite frankly, they're the worst.
I have no interest. I had never had any interest. Prometheus I saw once.
Covenant is
Didn't
better
enjoy
than
it.
Prometheus, but I
Really
really
now?
don't like. I really don't like Prometheus. I don't like the direction it went with the story. This is my girlfriend is a big fan of the franchise, and her attitude to it is like, I'm a big fan of the franchise. Anything else you can, so she loved it. Anything else you can give me in the franchise, I'm on board for. Brilliant.
Good or bad, doesn't matter. I'll just take it.
Yeah, she's happy to. Really likes the world, finds it really interesting. So give me more in that world. That's fine. My criticism of Prometheus and Covenant is that they're giving me a backstory to the alien that I don't want. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it. I feel it detracts. The alien is a scary creature, and I can appreciate and accept that. You know, in this sci-fi world, in our future, we'll travel to space, and there'll be a horrible monster that wants to eat us there, and that's enough for me. I don't need any more than that.
That's terrifying.
That's scary, and that's fine. What Prometheus does, and then unfortunately, it's been shoehorned into this as well because it's canon now.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it is indeed.
We have this like genetic history where it's somehow tied to Earth, and turns out in a roundabout way that humans created the xenomorph, and it brings it too close to home, and it ruins it for me. Frankly, I'll use that phrase. I'd like to just cut out and throw away the Prometheus Covenant bit because I don't want it. I want scary monster in space. That's fine. Give me that.
Well, I think that is where you could, because Romulus is set in between Alien and Aliens. If you take them as a trilogy and stop Romulus before the finale, the big finale, when Rain and Andy are safe, you've got, in my opinion, a really good solid Alien trilogy there. I think that fits quite nicely in it because it doesn't lead on to Aliens. It does continue from Alien. Obviously
I've got some thoughts about
that. So back to the franchise. So I hadn't seen Covenant. You've seen Covenant. You've seen all of them basically.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. Yeah.
So I only saw Prometheus once. I completely 110% categorically agree with you about the origin, and we've said it so many times before in horror. Origins don't help the case for your horror villain.
No.
What was the best thing about Michael Myers? It just fucking killing people. I don't know why. Well, we know as a 10-year-old or however he was, he killed his sister. Don't know why.
That's it. We don't need to explore it. Yeah, it just happened.
How many times? I don't need to see the pearls drop to the floor. I don't need to see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed or Uncle Ben get killed again. We don't need it. With Prometheus, my memory is very fuzzy with Prometheus because I saw it once. Engineers.
I watched it again quite recently, and I can't remember anything about it really.
Engineers are basically the origins of all of this, right? They're
the origins of everything.
That's
I think they with their magic black goo,
milky skin,
have managed to basically terraformed Earth, which led to the development of human life, and then sometime in the future we go to space and find this black goo, and then an evil android starts experimenting on humans with this same black goo, and that leads to the creation of the xenomorph. Ultimately, I think, in a nutshell.
Whereas
Covenant, they basically travel to this planet where the evil android has done his experiments, and they get wrapped up in it. That's essentially the plot of that.
Okay, I'm going to watch. I'm going to rewatch Prometheus, and I'm going to watch Covenant. I think this week because I'm in the mood now. I want to get fully immersed
to be
in
honest,
the
I'm not a
world
huge
now.
fan of the storyline, and it's like one of them. If like I don't think about it, film Covenant's good. It's better than Prometheus anyway, in my opinion.
Okay. But if you go
So anyway, what was I saying? So another friend of mine had given it his review that it played out a lot like the later Star Wars movies, where they've just tried to give us a little bit of everything else.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that this sort of manifested was in that opening section, that pre-title segment, with the drone recovering the space cocoon from the wreck of the Nostromo.
Did we know they could do that, the Xenomorphs? Because at the end of Alien 1, that Xenomorph is plunged out. In fact,
it does actually.
Burn?
It rockets out, it's spinning into the blackness of space. It's certainly not cocooned in a thing.
No.
So yeah, it would be still traveling millions of light years into the future, like Bender in that Futurama episode.
He's got a colony on his ass, yeah.
But it's certainly canon. Well, I mean, I guess it's canon from the films because it happens, but it's canon from the books as well that they can survive in the vacuum of space.
Right.
But there is one of the Alien novels that I've read. It's by Steve Perry, and it's either Earth Hive or Nightmare Asylum. I can't remember exactly which, but there's a data file, a video or something in that intimates that if adrift in space, it will kind of go into a hibernative state, and can survive without food and without water and air and oxygen.
Interesting.
So that's not been seen before, but there's something else about the alien gestation growth cycle that we're given in this movie that we've never seen before as well, which is the adult birthing scene.
Which is
wall vulva, I think.
That's brilliant. Thank you. I was struggling how to describe that because I didn't want to say it looked very reminiscent of something, but it kind of did. It looked
very reminiscent of something.
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah. But that's new. That's very new. After all the films we've had, that's new. Before.
And I kind of felt like it unnecessary as well. In that, I think it just overcomplicates the alien growth cycle.
Yeah, you know, it made me think of Species. You know, when she's on the train and then suddenly she cocoons herself, and then
she
older.
She cocoons herself in that. I mean, I guess. I mean, thinking of like you've got like caterpillars or whatever. You've got an egg that hatches, a caterpillar, and the caterpillar just grows, and then it goes into a cocoon and emerges as the butterfly. Is a totally different thing. So, but the alien life cycle is you've got the facehugger that deposits the egg hatches into the chestburster, and then I think in all other media, including the games and stuff, the chestburster just sheds its skin and grows. I think in Alien 3,
very quickly, yes.
There is it's implied that it's very quick.
Yeah.
But it's just essentially that hatchling growing in size. And I think in Alien 3, one of the deleted scenes, we see because it's the dog.
It's the dog,
isn't it?
It's the dog.
And again, in other media, that is like the physiology of the host is carried through to the xenomorph that's born. But we see it grow. We see it just hatch and grow. So we've had this. But now this has introduced this new extra step where, because we see the chestburster's skin shed, but then it shed its skin and then went into a cocoon to be born again as an adult.
Yeah,
it was like a weird extra step that has never been given before.
I think her name is Kay. The girl that's pregnant, the woman that's pregnant on it. She steps on a piece of shedded skin.
Yeah,
but we already saw that as the alien burst out of Navarro's chest. So it's like it shed again, and then this little monster, which probably grew a bit bigger, maybe twice the size.
Slightly bigger because it shed its skin.
There's this. How did it come up with this huge cocoon?
Yeah, Actually, I mean, I felt like the cocoon was a lot smaller than what the actual adult xenomorph was as well. I think it
was very curled up in there.
It was very coiled up in there. Which I don't know. I just felt it was a bit unnecessary. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I mean, it was kind of gruesome, gory, body horror-esque stuff. I guess it ties in with what happens at the end to the Kay's character. So there's a lot of obvious like mirror imagery there going on. So I kind of get it, but I felt it was like we don't really need an extra, like the alien gestation growth cycle or whatever. It felt like an unnecessary addition to it.
Weirdly, a lot more notes than I thought, but I just sort of separate into positives and negatives. And there are more negatives than I would have liked to have had, but I'm not seeing them as major. I want to start off just saying, I think I mentioned earlier, the whole cast I really liked, and I've noticed from Fede Alvarez's films, especially with Don't Breathe, none of the cast, none of the characters that he writes, they're never obnoxious or make completely inexcusable decisions in the film. None of them are really annoying. And I found out with that, none of them. There was Bjorn, the young guy in this, who was a dick to Andy, the synthetic. But they gave the reason as to why he was so.
Yeah, they did give him a reason. He was probably, and he's obviously involved with Navarro as well, hence some of his other actions in the film. He was probably the most unlikable character.
Yeah, but everyone else, for the most part, in my opinion, was fine. I mean, the people on, we didn't really interact with the people on the planet itself, like the kiosk lady who was extending her hours on the planet. It's just neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. Neither here nor there.
Kind of a faceless corporate character.
And I think back to Evil Dead, I didn't hate all the characters in that film at all.
No, it's not your usual sort of fodder. But I guess that's fitting for the franchise as well. Certainly, as far as like Alien and Aliens goes, I don't think there's any.
Yeah, you're right.
Really dislikable characters in there.
Apparently, it was also
Ashen Alien.
Ian
Ian Holm's character.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to if I. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely a villain. Whether I don't think he comes across as generally unlikable. It's a reveal, isn't it? I suppose it's that, lo and behold, he's a bad guy.
But just circling back now to the alien itself, the chest burster scene which we get is played by Eileen Wu, and this was her first film. Navarro.
Oh, right.
The woman that plays Navarro is her first film, and it's a pretty cool first credit that you get to be the one to take on that iconic horror
birth an alien
role action. Yeah, birthing an alien out of your chest. And I really like the little bit they did with they found like an X-ray,
the X-ray torch thing.
Yeah, and there was a little foreshadowing. It only happened between 10 minutes of finding it and then using it. But that was quite cool, seeing it through her ribs, and then suddenly, but it all happened very quickly. She got impregnated by the facehugger from the Romulus ship, and didn't take that long for it to burst out.
No,
is that another maybe change in the law?
I think they've always kind of played fast and loose with the exact implantation, gestation times based on like plot. I think that's always varied. It can sometimes be days. It can sometimes be like, I think, I think in Aliens is basically captured, but there's the egg hasn't even opened yet when we find. Yeah, there are other characters that are like cocooned and planted just like that.
You're right. Yeah,
it's all been and then, Kane in the first movie, Kane's it's hours later. Other characters in other movies have like had a face like a drop off and it bursts straight away. Or in fact, in Aliens, one of the colonists, they find one of the colonists who wakes up and asks to be killed. But it must have been
on the
weeks.
walls.
It must have been weeks before the Marines got there to travel there and stuff. So yeah, they've always been a little bit. It's always been what the film needs it to be in terms of, which is fine. I don't mind too much with that. I guess it kind of ties in with the, person's constitution or, just natural variance or something like that. I've never really had an issue with that.
No. I mean, obviously we're so far into it now. We describe the story. The story itself is pretty straightforward. And I appreciate that. It's not too over the top. It's not too complex. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think throughout the first half hour, 45 minutes, how are they getting trapped on this ship then? How are they all? Because you can see that's where it was going. Here's our gang. They're going to get trapped on some ship, either it's theirs or the Romulus, which is the space station that's abandoned outside of their orbit, and they want to steal their cryopods and fuel so they can get to their planet they want to get to. I was like, how is it going to work? How are they going to get isolated? Whoa, alien isolated. How are they going to get stuck here? And how is it going to be a prey and predator situation? And it worked. I liked it. It worked. I feel like that's been done before as well. That's sort of the way they got trapped there. Their ship got damaged and it fell. This one it fell into the loading bay, the docking bay, and then they were stuck there.
I think it. I mean, that was kind of like it was a little bit of like definite plot armor going on there. Like the ship crashed and just happened to crash
right into the docking bay
and into the docking bay, and everyone's fine. They've not, they've not crashed anything. It did add that extra element because they had, the whole thing that was this thing was losing its orbit and it was going to crash in 36 hours. But then they ruptured a fuel tank or something, which tilted it and meant that it was now significantly less time before this thing was going to crash into the rings of the planet. Yeah, it was interesting. One thing, and a nice simple plot and believable and decent, and there was good reason for them to be there and good reason for them to pursue what they were doing.
Everything made sense.
Yeah, we got the and kind of got to the point quickly as well. We got a fairly quick setup that working for Weyland Yutani on this mining planet is horrible. You do want to get away from it, or we've got a get rich quick scheme to basically get what we need to leave, and they go after it. And then the stakes are high because they want to leave essentially a life of forced labor. You
want to see the sun because the mining planet you can't see the sun.
Is just seems like the worst thing ever. And we're also told that they're all like, because I was kind of referring to them as the Scooby Gang because they just seem like a lot of children, but we are told that basically all their parents are dead through like horrible mining accidents or disease. The colony's failing because it's just an awful place to live. So it is good. One thing that did bug me slightly though was the shape of those cryopods. Like they're not a style of cryopod we've seen in any other Alien movie.
No, but did you see the shape they make when they're all?
Yes,
the cryopods are all in one big unit. What the unit looks like. You see what the unit looks like.
It was the W.
Yeah,
it was. I did pick up on that, but look at this. Look at the cryopods in Alien. Look at the cryopods in Aliens. They're
stood up, aren't they?
No, they're
are they horizontal?
Well, the ones certainly the ones in Aliens. I'm speaking about Alien, but the cryopods in Aliens are laid down. They're banks of rows of beds.
Yeah, because I actually saw a very funny point made randomly on the cryobeds. What's his name? Sergeant Apone. As soon as he wakes up, that cigar is on.
That cigar's in his mouth.
It's so good.
And they're the same. They're the same in Alien as well. It's like a central control unit and 4 or
That's it.
however many beds, 4 or 5 beds that come off it in sort of a star shape.
I think I'm thinking of Event Horizon.
Whereas these ones seem to be like in the ground and would pop up out of the ground. And this is such a minor like criticism, but I was thinking it's Weyland-Yutani. This is probably not that long, only a handful of years after Alien. And they have the same setup in Aliens, which is X number of years after this as well. So why have they just randomly got a radically different design on this space station compared to what they've got on their marine ships, on their mining ships, on basically everything else that we've seen? And then randomly the Romulus gets this like weird ground chamber setup.
You're right. No,
and it's such a thing. Right. It's such a stupid thing to get stuck on. But I was like, why are they like this?
I think that can fall into a continuity error in a way.
I think the reason is they had to be able to get them on the ship, I guess. So it had this like neatly slidey out of so you could slide the module out of like the almost like a plug-in thing. I guess that's why. Right, because I was, as they were going into the ship, especially with the way they got into the ship, crawling through that tiny little tunnel.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I was like, how are they going to drag those massive sleeping tubes back through this? How is this going to work? But yeah, this was
what I was thinking of when you were talking about the Event Horizon cryopods. There.
Oh yeah, the sort of liquid filled back to tank kind of things.
No, good point. I hadn't clocked that. I clocked what the unit looked like as the Weyland
kind of
W.
Picky thing. Because they also have the different model of pulse rifles as well.
Yeah,
which was
because okay. I think there's a good segment we can talk about all the references and homages that were put in. Just one more thing on the characters. I really like Andy, the synthetic in this.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't sure if his character was meant to be, let's say, simple. Even though he is a robot, his character was meant to be like that because it was damaged. It was very damaged. Very damaged.
But we're told that he was found on a trash heap, and her dad had basically.
I completely missed that. Then sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. That explains everything.
He's basically a company droid that damaged or obsolete and discarded, and Rain's dad fixed him, and I guess set him up as sort of like a protector, big brother kind of figure for her.
Well, I am super fine with that, super happy with that. Let's move on. But Andy was great. I really liked his performance, and I liked the changing from our original Andy to Weyland Andy,
his upgraded version. Andy. Yeah, I liked it. I did feel like it was leading us a little bit away from the alien threat, though, and we were getting basically getting very strong evil android vibes, and
which that is played out.
Especially in the Aliens franchise, it's very played out. You know, two
more
films.
Played out than the Aliens. It's
that was. I was sat there thinking, I was like, okay, we had. I mean, Ash in Alien being a villain is a big part of the story, but it doesn't overshadow the alien.
No, not at all.
But we've had Prometheus, and we've had what the other one? I always forget what it's called.
What, Covenant?
Covenant, yeah.
And Aliens with Bishop.
Bishop's not a bad guy though in Aliens.
No, but it's still
it's a plot
major part of the plot point.
I mean, I'm fine with there being synthetic in Alien franchise movies, but making them the main villain of the piece is what's getting in Prometheus arguably the main. You don't see there's no xenomorph of any shape or form until the dying moments of the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've certainly had enough evil androids as the main villain of an Aliens movie. So I was kind of glad that ended up sort of switching back and just being a sort of minor part
Mm-hmm.
because I was worried that was going to go too far. On the subject of androids, though,
Yeah.
we have to talk about
Yep, let's do that.
Rook, the science officer.
Out of everything you said about the film, this is the thing that was my highest negative point.
Yeah.
Because it's
Now,
disgusting.
If you remember, as we've mentioned a few times, the science officer on the Nostromo was Ash, played by Ian Holm.
Mm-hmm. Bilbo.
That's Bilbo. The science officer on the Romulus is also played by Ian Holm. Now, makes perfect sense in world. You're making androids. Apple don't make every single iPhone different.
All the same.
Ford don't make every single model of their car look different.
Nope.
You're churning out synthetic people in a factory. You're going to make all of a particular model look the same. I get that. So it makes perfect sense for Ian Holm to be the science officer on board the Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
However, why did they make him look on a par with the Rock at the end of the Scorpion King?
Because it's the same AI used. It's AI. It's not even
terrible.
Like fancy CGI. It is the same AI used for the Luke Skywalker AI at the end of the Mandalorian episode,
and the Mandalorian
Princess Leia in Rogue One.
Now I can't speak for Princess Leia in Rogue One, but I didn't think the Mark Hamill, the Luke Skywalker, was too bad. I have seen that scene, and I thought that was okay.
It's not him, though, is it?
No, it's not him.
It certainly wasn't Ian Holm.
This was bloody awful, and it spent far too much time front and center looking at, like, his face was collapsing at parts.
Yeah.
It was.
Which is a shame because there were a lot of
diabolical.
great shots from the side where you could see a shadow of him, and what's great, you could tell it was him by just the shape of his head and the way.
Yeah.
Even without seeing his face, you could tell that was him. Even if you really couldn't guess, I wonder if they're gonna bring Ash somehow into this, or Ian Holm. You could just tell it was him, and there were some great shots. And then suddenly it's face, bright lights, and it looks so uncanny and smooth and.
It was really, really poor, and it's like you say as well, really smooth and odd looking. And they basically find half this android, and he's been, mostly melted in the killing of the alien, and he's all acid burned and stuff. Why didn't they burn his face? Why didn't they make an Ian Holm face prosthetic, burn the hell out of it, and then have him do the voice? They don't need his face because it's a damaged android. Talking about practical effects, there's so many better. That would have been a far better way to do it.
Could the android have been another Andy?
I mean, it could have been another Andy.
It would have had more of a connection between this Andy and that Andy.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think they needed it to be. They needed it, but it was a too good of an opportunity to miss, I guess, to have, fan service and callback. And like I said at the beginning, I don't have a problem with fan service, and I'm perfectly happy for it to be an Ash model of Android, but the execution is just really, really, really poor. That's my criticism of it.
So you could go, I know him. Yeah, that's literally it.
But it does. I mean, it doesn't. It does. Like I say, it does make sense. It does make sense. I'm guessing though because Bishop is obviously another model of synthetic, and we find out in Alien versus Predator that he is made in the image of Mr. Wayland, isn't he?
Yes.
So Lance Henriksen plays Mr. Wayland but not all synthetics are him, or are we? Is Alien versus Predator not canon?
It's canon. No, they are canon.
They are canon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're a part of the timeline. I mean, how old is Lance Hendrickson now? He's got to be in his 80s. Lance Hendrickson, he is 84 years old. Even if you wanted, say, Bishop there, but also,
I mean, I suppose they did it for the memorial of Ian Holm, I guess, but it feels like a poor homage, I think.
It's very poor homage. What age do they decide we want this android to be in the same age range of? Because Andy's obviously looks younger than Ian Holm's android. So, because androids don't age, surely.
No, they don't. But I suppose but I guess they deteriorate without maintenance. I suppose it depends what the function is. We don't know we don't really know what Andy's initial programming was.
No, not his initial one, but his current one.
Like I said, if Rook was a science officer, Ash was a science officer, a synthetic program to be a science officer. So you get, whatever age Ian Holm was in Alien, that sort of age, appropriate look. So nobody feels weirded out by talking to a 20-year-old science officer, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
So maybe that's got something to do with it.
So yeah, the references and homages. Seeing as we're talking about Ian Holm and
yes,
look, I clapped when I saw him. I clapped. In my opinion, some of the unnecessary, even worse than. Well, not even worse. Even worse in a different sense than Ian Holm's Ash/Rook were the "get away from her, you bitch."
Yes,
just unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. It was horrible.
That was horrible. It was so obviously left hanging. If it had just been "get away from her," let the audience kind of fill in the rest. Fair enough, but it was that sort of "get away from her."
Come on now, everyone, with me. All together now. Bitch.
You bitch. Yeah, it was left hanging for an awful long time, and it was just and as I said, a couple of people were a little bit talky through my showing. When that line was uttered, the guy went, "Way."
Yeah, I clapped, I cheered. I know that. I know that line. It's from Aliens, in case you didn't know.
The only other strong reference I picked up was the cornbread.
Okay, go ahead.
Right at the beginning when Andy and Raina sat down just before they go to the thingy, and he's telling the office, and he's telling jokes. She says, "Oh, give me some of that cornbread. Let me try that cornbread or something." So it's a reference to the meal scene in Aliens where they're all passing around cornbread.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
I thought that's got to be a nod to that scene. I mean, apart from just sort of usual imagery, Weyland, the Weyland-Yutani logo. There's the reference to the Nostromo and stuff like that.
Where the broken up Nostromo at the beginning, it pans around and you see the light shine on it, and you see the words Nostromo. Yeah, there's that.
And we also had the photo cards of the crew as we got regaled the story. I don't recall there being any other sort of big signposted. I mean, if they weren't signposted well enough, if there was.
Like that, pointing at it, yeah.
I'm gonna say the thing. Do the line, Bart.
Yeah. There's I mentioned about the end of the film, which we should probably talk about in a bit about our new creation, where the film feels like it's ending, and suddenly we've got a real finale. That is Aliens, where they think they're back on the ship. No, the Queen has followed you, and she's got to fend off the Queen from you and Bishop. And then that was my thought process on. Okay, they've taken that homage, and we've got it here with Romulus.
See, I disagree because of what actually happens. Specifically, we have Alien Resurrection.
Oh, we do as well. No, I agree. We completely got Alien Resurrection as well. Yeah.
Because I thought that I guess what we're missing, and I'm not saying it necessarily needed it or didn't need it, but like I said, a lot of this film feels like we're cobbling together bits of all the other films in the franchise, and, giving you this sort of like new story, but there's a lot of like nods and stuff like a lot of Rook's dialogue is basically Ash's spiel about it being a perfect organism and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
A lot of his dialogue is used is just taken directly from Alien. And we've got, the pulse rifle, and we have Andy giving the get away from a line, and the cornbread, as minor as it is.
Yeah.
But there's a point in the movie where we find out that there are a lot more xenomorphs than we initially thought.
Yeah, because you're only led to believe there's just one roaming around.
There's one, but we see that basically there's most of the rest of the crew, or a lot of the other crew. I think we see 5 or 6 people, cocoon, chest bursted. They reckon they rescue Kay at this point, don't they? But there's basically a hive structure in the Romulus, and I thought, right, we're gonna get a queen then. They're gonna bring us. They're gonna give us a queen as the big bad, and especially with Rain sort of stopping the elevator and going back down is very much like the Aliens scene with Ripley taping the flamethrower and the pulse rifle together and going back into the hive to rescue Newt.
Sure. Yep.
And I thought, right, that's what they're giving us. We're gonna get a queen. And they didn't do that. They then went and said, no, we're gonna have an alien human hybrid from Resurrection, which was the point of Resurrection that everybody hated. I'd like to point out.
Yeah.
Nobody liked the hybrid in Resurrection. I didn't mind Resurrection, to be quite honest. Just
no, it's not a great film, but it's a fun film.
It is kind of fun. I don't mind it, and I kind of like 3 as well, which is another one that people don't really like very much.
3 gets way too much hate. 3 really gets too much hate.
But again, this is one of those situations. Like, now we have this that Resurrection isn't going to look all that bad. But yeah, people hated Resurrection.
Yeah,
hated the hybrid. Sorry, in Resurrection, and. So that's what they decided to do. Like, they went, we can do that better. It's like, maybe don't do it at all. Nobody liked it.
Yeah, let's not focus on what people. Let's not focus on what people didn't like, because if we do it again in the same way, people are not going to like it again.
Yeah,
why take that risk?
It just seems like a silly decision to me that they'd try it. And yeah, I mean. What were your thoughts on the Offspring or whatever? I can't remember what it's credited as.
And just before that, one more reference, and you mentioned it earlier: the plasma rifle.
Oh, the pulse rifle. Yeah.
The pulse rifle. Sorry, the pulse rifle. Yeah, it looked way jazzier, way more high tech, and cool. Really cool design. Compared to what they had in Aliens, the Marines had Aliens, like the
I mean, he does say
squad.
This is what the Colonial Marines use.
But
I mean, budget cuts, maybe.
Budget cuts to Colonial Marines. It's gotta suck when you're trying to fend off against monsters.
Budget
dangerous
cuts,
planet, because that gun's fantastic.
Funding.
You've got the shoulder stock that locks into your shoulder, and it's got an auto aim. Really cool. But we got a great shot of Tyler. Our main male lead, other than Andy, basically showing Rain how to hold the gun and aim and use it.
Oh,
it's the same shot as when Hicks is showing Ripley how to use the gun.
Yeah, it's exactly it
now
is.
that
I like
like
the big one.
I like that little we've taken that. We've just put it, but used it in our own way. I like that.
Tweaked it slightly, and like I say, a subtle nod more than a big in your face. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mind that too much. And it is there was a little bit of humor thrown in there as well with it. Like, no, where do you? Because there's a point earlier in the movie where he's doing like military style hand signals and and Bjorn takes the mickey out of him for it, and it's like, oh, he's got a interest with the military or whatever, and then she asks him like, how do you know all this stuff, and he's like, oh, games and books or magazines or whatever he says.
Earlier on we see him playing his not Switch.
So yeah, you're right, that's the other one. So yeah, but I say, we took a side step from giving us another Queen showdown, which is a real shame because the Alien Queen's such a
incredible.
And there's been long enough now. We had Aliens, and then we had 3 Resurrection, Prometheus, and Covenant.
AVP
4 movies. I think it's time to get another Queen in.
And AVP, it was in AVP 1. It was under the temple in the Antarctic area. It was in there. I don't know if it was AVP 2. I couldn't see it, so I'm not sure if it was in that. But yeah, you're right. You're completely right.
Alien. So yeah, but they gave, so as I say, they gave us the bit of from Resurrection that everybody hated. Another, and arguably, as much as people didn't like the one in Resurrection, it looked scarier and more
than this. Yes.
Than this. This is like elongated limbs, and there's the bits of sort of ridged, alien texture, skin and stuff. But from like the neck up, it's just a person.
Very tall guy. So how we get to this point being Kay, one of our crew members, we discover she's pregnant, and throughout the film we get the exposition scene of this ship houses the Prometheus black goo, which the scientists have been fucking around with. They've tried it in rats experiments, whatnot. And at one point where Kay is on the verge of dying, Tyler injects it into her.
Yeah, she gets her throat cut, doesn't she?
Yeah, that then mixes with the DNA of the baby. When we think that we think it's all over, it's not. She instantly gives birth to a big egg, which someone has pointed out looks very similar to the egg on the original Alien poster. Because the egg on the original Alien poster doesn't look that much like the eggs that the facehuggers come out of that much. They're a lot more gooier. The egg on the original Alien poster is much more... It looks like a fucking avocado. It's got that ripply outside skin. And that's what this kind of looked like.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
And she gives birth to the baby, but the baby becomes this big xenomorph cross engineer from Prometheus, the big milky skin, black.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. Looks kind of like the is it the creature from the movie Splice?
Man, Splice has been on my list for a long time. I've had a lot of people big that up.
Very sort of reminiscent of that. There is a tail, very long, elongate limbs. There is a sort of tongue, not the same like inner jaws the proper xenomorph has, but there is like a little tongue with a mouth kind of thing.
No, you're super right.
It's implied it uses that to feed. But yeah, I didn't.
Visually,
really
it
care
was not
for the
appealing.
look.
It wasn't great looking. But you're comparing this to the Alien/Aliens, which we discover, like you said, throughout the film. We see throughout the film. I love the fact we rarely saw the Alien/Aliens that much in the film. To be fair, really, they're very quick cuts on the screen, or they're in the background, or they're hanging.
Yeah, there's nice, and I like that sort of like uncoiling the wall kind of. It's natural camouflage with the hive walls and stuff like that.
There's never necessarily a straight in your face full shot of the alien chucking and jiving, doing what its business in front of you. They're very quick cuts, very quick scares. This thing, this part became your monster movie. Yeah,
it wanders around. It's very it's just a bit silly. At this point in the movie, Rain has gone into the cargo hold of the. It's basically a mining
It's part of the mining.
It's essentially a flying minecart.
Yeah.
Just so the hold is basically just full of whatever mineral it is that they're mining. And yeah, she follows the footprints, and then it's behind her, and then it kind of wanders around a little bit, and yeah, she decides to essentially how most alien movies end one way or another. We're gonna flush it out the airlock. So we're gonna jettison it into space. Let space worry about it.
Yeah.
Which not a problem. Not criticizing that, because that's probably your best bet. We end up doing it in pretty much exactly the same way that it happens in Alien Resurrection. A little bit of acid blood. Just
I need to talk about that in a minute.
The little bowl of acid
before
blood.
we leave. I need to talk about acid blood before we get out of here. There was one more point like that I needed to talk about.
And then yeah, we have at this point I was very much just like, come on, just finish now. Can we just end now? We get a protracted sequence of, you know, it gets sucked out and she gets sucked out, but she's on a safety line, and then there's a bit of a jump scare as it sort of pops through the dust that's swirling out, and yeah, it's ultimately not that much of an issue, and she gets back inside.
Yeah, her, Andy, and Kate. Does Kate survive?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Andy's damaged goods at this point. But, yeah.
Oh, maybe she doesn't. No, she doesn't. No, the offspring kills her. The offspring kills her.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I think this is the new monster, what's called Xenogeneer, because it's a xenomorph / engineer breed.
Okay.
Is one of the weakest parts of the film. It is and like I said earlier, you cut it when they get Kay into the cryo chamber, and just put them all in the cryo chamber, and they end like that. That's wrapping that up in a nice little package right there. We don't need this extra. Do you know what would have been?
You'd probably feel a bit light on that it's been a bit light on the aliens, but I
like that, because Alien was light on the alien.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
true.
Aliens wasn't, but it's called Aliens plural. I expected many aliens.
I mean, yeah.
Aliens. Okay.
Alien Romulus, I was expecting them to be in togas.
I think one of the problems with our new friend at the end of this is that we're focusing on the Prometheus story.
It's that, isn't it? Yeah.
We're tying it back to that, whereas I would have
They've got to put that in now.
I would have liked something like we only get one face hugger, okay? We only get one type of face hugger, right? It is what we see in every film. It's the face hugger.
I think so, yeah.
How many different types of aliens have we now seen? Quite a few. I want a new type of face hugger. Let's get a bigger, just a monster.
There is
Scorpion-esque face hugger. You know, just give us
there is
like
in
that.
canon. There is supposedly a queen face hugger.
See, I'm interested in that now.
There is supposedly a queen face hugger, which will. So right, this is what I know. No, and I don't know how much is definitely canon and how much isn't. But there is a queen face hugger, which will implant a queen. A normal face hugger. So the alien that bursts out your chest is a queen alien.
Okay.
A normal facehugger is like I think royal facehugger is also like another word for it. A normal facehugger will give you just a normal drone.
Yeah.
But then if there is no queen around, the drone can become a queen. So they work like that, and that's from like novels I've read, and I think it happens in some of the comics and stuff. And like I say, I don't know what is considered established canon and not. But
my next question.
There is technically a queen facehugger, yeah.
I was going to be my next question about like, are all these side stories canon? Because obviously what they did with Star Wars, you know, when Disney bought it, all the side shit just became, no, we're dumping it, we're doing our own thing, and then look what happened. So I'd be interesting to look into the universe more of let's say the two universes. I'm more interested in the Alien universe than the Prometheus. Origins before
Yeah,
Alien universe, because like we keep saying, it's just not needed.
It can definitely get in the bin.
Let's expand on what we've already got. Let's go further with it rather than how it became like Alien. The engineer, when they discovered the engineer's ship, and you've got the massive gun and the engineer sitting there. What the fuck is that about? And that's fine.
Yeah.
That reaction is what you want.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what it's
an
about.
Explanation of that. No. So you do see the royal facehugger in the Alien 3 Special Edition, I believe.
Fantastic.
You do because that is the one that infects Ripley, off camera.
Spoilers.
So you do see it. So it's kind of the same, but it's got webbing between its legs.
Oh, that looks so dope. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the AVP fandom wiki.
The facehugger, the xenomorph, the queen, just the egg alone, to me elicit more terror, intensity, and scare than the engineer does.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're going to give us a different, like, I get that you're right. You've been given the Alien franchise. You're going to make a new movie. Want to introduce something new. And then, again, in the sort of many debates I've had about the merits of Prometheus with my other half, that's her take on it. It's like, well, we get a different version of the evolution. You've got the basic drone in the first one, the facehugger and the basic drone in the first one. You get a queen in the second movie. We get the dog alien in the third movie. We get the hybrid in in Resurrection. Then there's, I think it's called something like Deacon, or there's the weird versions that are in Prometheus and Covenant. So this movie was going to give us something different as well. Fair enough. And it gave us, I guess it's an engineer xenomorph hybrid, which looked more. It didn't have enough xenomorph, I think, for a start. There wasn't enough of the hybrid there. It looked too much like one and not the other. I agree with you that the engineers also aren't scary, like, and it's a part of the franchise that they should just do away with, and I hate it. That would have been a better thing to do, is give us another variation, have it burst out of a gorilla or like a alligator or something else. I don't know. Give us something else.
You say that, I think there is a gorilla alien.
There is in
fairly
Toyland.
Certain. Yeah, there is. I've
There
seen it,
is
and it looks awesome.
The alien figures that came out back in the day, was that actually?
Yeah. Looking at it right now, it looks fantastic.
They were great. They were awesome. I had the snake alien, which was big, long, flexible, cobra-shaped thing.
I actually have one right here. Still in its box. It's a OG.
Oh, nice.
Look at that grin.
Yeah, he's good.
Just a basic. I mean, look at even the basics that comes within the set. Can you see them? They look like they're from Trumpton Town. There's a reference for you, folks.
They do look like they're from Trumpton Town. I like that the space suit's there, because we do see Rain getting the old classic space suit, which was a good nod. But also, like you say, just kind of given the fall off with the pulse rifles, the space suit hasn't changed, which was an interesting thing.
Our Zen engineer, it didn't deliver. It didn't hit the mark.
It didn't hit for me. No, it really didn't hit for me.
The last negative point I had, which I wrote down, I mentioned you were talking about the acid, the blood.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't like the scene, because we get foreshadowing and plot points of zero gravity, and the gravity fluctuates here and there in the Romulus/Remus ship. When the gravity, she turns the gravity, her and Rain and Andy are stuck. They're trapped and they're being pursued by dozens of aliens.
Yeah, it's like a last stand situation.
Yeah, and the gravity off, and they all start floating. And she uses the auto aim from the pulse rifle and blast them all away, which unfortunately leaves acid floating around.
Yes.
They then start to fly around in zero gravity around the acid.
Dodging,
that bothered me so much because the acid is a liquid. The liquid could form in tiny droplets, which you might not be able to see because it was a dark room.
Yeah.
And they just managed to dodge every single bit, and
yeah,
it really bothered me. It really bothered me, that scene.
I mean, as well,
it was
like,
goofy.
They were like pulling themselves along railings. See the railing smoking where the acid had hit.
Yeah.
The logic behind that made sense. So they were at the bottom of the ship, and if she shot the alien, it'd bleed on the floor, and you'd be straight out into like we stood on the cold vacuum of space, like between us and the floor.
He said that.
Makes perfect sense. So this is like, if they're floating, then it's not just going to go straight through the floor. No, but it's going to go absolutely everywhere else. I'm sure you're making yourself a far bigger problem for yourself there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a silly scene. It was it was a little bit reminiscent of the underwater scene in Resurrection. Just from having like a danger in the environment, having to navigate it.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Rather than it be like just kind of the mood of it. Rather, I'm not saying to it or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was sat there thinking like this would be far worse than just melting through the floor. It'd be absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. That truly bothered me, and for the most part I didn't have that many problems with this film, unlike you. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and for the most part felt it was the intensity worked, and I think a big part of that was the score. The sound design was superb in this film. Helped with the sets, feeling all dark, all claustrophobic, all industrial. That is what I wanted from this Alien film, and it worked for that. I clearly enjoyed it more than you. I'm not saying it was the best Alien film.
No. I'm not. I don't. I feel like I'm being a little bit too hard on it. I would watch it again.
I would.
I'd happily watch it again. Maybe not straight away, but I'd come back to it and give it another viewing, like happily. I don't really care about ever watching Prometheus. I've seen Prometheus twice. I've seen Covenant twice as well, and I don't ever want to watch either of those movies again. But I would quite happily watch this again. I think it's just that sort of initial, like I say, without being overly vocal about it, I think I was kind of internally quite hyped for it, and it just didn't quite. You know, I was expecting something that I didn't get. It was maybe a little bit of disappointment, sort of fueling my my feelings towards it, maybe. Because like I say, I've definitely watched worse films. I've definitely watched worse films in this franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably fair to say that you enjoyed it more than I did. Which
I think I did. I think yeah. Yeah. I'd so far as I'm trying to think, I think this may top my horror for 2024.
Really?
With Maxine following.
Oh wow! Okay.
And you know what I think really helped with that is the cinema experience.
Okay.
Because I enjoyed the film because I could enjoy it.
You could enjoy the film.
And that might change if I watch some of the other films that I experienced at the cinema this year. Say at home.
10:30 in the morning.
Or 10:30 in the morning with a Danish and a coffee. And that might change by the end of the year. But as of now, I'm going to say Alien. I'm going to say Alien Romulus is my top horror film of the year.
Wow. Okay.
But again, that might change. But as of now, no, folks, it's not Late Night with the Devil. Don't be silly.
No,
but I'm still a big fan of I always butcher this. Fede Alvarez.
Fede Alvarez.
With Evil Dead and Don't Breathe and this, I think he is a competent horror director.
Oh,
I've seen a lot of people praising, saying, give him the new reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street if it ever happens. One of many competent horror directors, but I think he Might be able to take somewhere. Apparently some screenings were showing a teaser for the other Alien, or it's actually a TV show coming out next year, I believe, called Alien Earth. It's from Fox. It's a TV show.
Oh, okay.
Now I don't know if this is true, but
I don't know anything about this. I mean, we certainly didn't
apparently
get that.
it's set before Prometheus.
Oh, then I don't care about it.
How is that possible?
Well, it's going to be about the engineers inventing cavemen, then, isn't it? I guess.
We'll see. It may have been false information. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. The source was bollocks, I think, but just keep an eye on it. Alien Earth. It's from Fox, I believe, and it comes out next year. But I didn't get it in my theater, but some theaters were showing a teaser before. No, before Alien Romulus, I got another trailer for Speak No Evil. Didn't we all?
Oh, really? Oh no, I didn't. We didn't get that one. I got Smile 2, and then, oh god, I can't remember what else. But they weren't. It was only Smile 2 that was vaguely horror related, and I was starting to think I was sitting in the wrong screen. Yeah.
Gonna need to see that Speak No Evil, I think. Gonna need to see it. I just need to know how it ends. I need to know. But anyway, Alien Romulus then. If you can, before we wrap it up, where does it sit for you in the Alien films?
Oh, you want me to rank the franchise?
I want you to rank them. I want you to give it a good ranking.
Give it a good solid.
Give it a good
ranking.
good ranking. Right now, for me.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna. So how many have we got? We've got four good ones and 3 not so good ones. And I'm not saying any more than that. Right. So I mean 7 Prometheus. Because that's the worst one, definitely. If I have to include them.
You're saying Prometheus is worse than Alien vs Predator 2?
Oh, you want to include those as well?
Oh, yeah, they're
okay. So there's 9. So we're talking 9 films total then. Alien vs Predator Requiem. Yeah, to give it its proper title. At number 9. Prometheus at number 8. Covenant number 7. Then it might be this. It might be this at number 6. Romulus at 6.
Okay.
And then... Oh, hang on. I forgot one, haven't I? AVP 1.
Yep.
Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe AVP 1 at 6 and this at 5.
Okay.
And then
3, and then 4, 3,
so
2,
it's
1.
probably just it's probably just in that order.
I think that's
on a given day, maybe I put Aliens in over Alien. It kind of just depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah, I think they fit well as joint 1 and 2, no matter which.
Yeah.
Anyone's list is going to be 1 and 2 are always going to be 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We know which way they go around. I think for me,
but I think it is 3 Resurrection and so on.
Interesting. My list pretty much goes in order of release, near enough. AVP 2, Covenant is out there because I haven't seen it, and I will plan to see it. So AVP 2 at the bottom, then Prometheus, then AVP 1, then Resurrection, then 3, then Romulus, then Aliens, and I'm putting Romulus at number 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the fact we differ.
I mean, that's what this is all about. It won't do if we all like the same. Different strokes for different folks and whatnot. Yeah, like I say, I am willing. Definitely, I'll watch it again at some point. And as far as recent Alien movies go, this is definitely better than Prometheus and Covenant. Because it feels, in that regard, it feels a lot more like an Alien franchise movie. This is proper. I think my main issue with it is it's not really giving me anything new. It's giving me a kind of Jive Bunny chopped up rehash of one Aliens 3 and Resurrection. Maybe not so much 3, but yeah,
1, 2, and 4.
It's giving me that.
But when you say,
then sprinklings of the Prometheus gubbins in just to make it further canonical.
It feels like an Alien film. That's the point you're also going against in a way, because like saying it feels like an Alien film is that whole argument of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Feels like an Alien film. Alien wasn't broke, don't fix it. But I guess what you're also saying is, I wanted that, but I wanted it just a little sprinkling of something new, something different.
Yeah, I guess if I have to come down and land on it, I don't know what I wanted. I don't really, but
what are we doing here?
But it wasn't this. Yeah, I just it's a difficult one. It probably comes down to that finale being.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the finale that
it probably comes down. If I think about it more, it probably comes down to the finale, kind of souring the rest of it. There were some cheesy moments with the referencing, and they did it in Home Dirty.
Yeah,
but I think it's the finale and the engineer. It's when they got to the Prometheus related stuff that I lost interest and love for it. Yeah, that's probably what it comes down to.
Yep. Okay. If you've listened to this the whole way through and not seen it, God bless you. But either way, I'm gonna say it. I think I could speak. I think we could both say we'd recommend it no matter what.
Yeah,
I'd recommend it. Go at an early morning. You'll get a great experience. So yeah, Alien Romulus. Wow, went longer than I thought we would. We have a lot to talk about with that, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was one quick thing. Did you notice the escalators? There was one part in the ship where they went down dual escalators. Yes. All I'm thinking is, what London Underground did they shoot that on? I want to find out now, because that just looked like an underground station dual escalator.
Yes, it did very much.
And there was also a vernacular like train at some point in there. That cable car. Just randomly. We didn't see it again. We saw the lift go up and down, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Alien Romulus. That is that wrapped up in a nice little package. Another little quick break, and we will be back in September for the next 2 films under with Strays and Mosquito. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
We've got sources for both of them now. I think
yes, dodgy websites.
I will be able to watch those when I'm working next week.
Good. Right, let's get the hell out of here. As per usual, you can check out all of this lovely show and all of its past episodes on the YouTube, as probably where you're watching it right now, if you're watching the YouTube video. So if you haven't already, click a like, click a subscribe. You'll get all the notifications and all the new content and engagement that we do for all those buzzwords. And if you want to listen to it on other audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, podcasts, Amazon, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Samsung, trying to get it on more, and tune in on Alexa, trying to spread the word on more services. And the TikTok, trying to get more going on that. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter /X, _Dreadcast. Find us on there. I try to get that going as much as I can, trying to get as much conversation going on there, but it's tough when you got a life. I think that's it. So, is that it? Go watch From. Just go watch From. It's great. We'll talk about it next time, hopefully, when you've watched something. Hopefully you will watch it. So, that's it. Next time. Until next time, 2 films under. Stray Mosquito. Bye.